Good evening, everybody. Welcome in to Ekaterinburg to Chelyabinsk Citation 10 flight. Estimated departure time 20 minutes. Estimated time en route is 55 minutes. So welcome aboard, everybody. It's good to be back. It's good to be here on a Monday afternoon in the plane again, doing a lovely flight. Of course, Vasim is preloaded along with the flight plan. So we're going to go ahead and get in the aircraft. Now, since I had the aircraft on standby, I switched the batteries on, but as you can see, they've gone dead. So just to prove to everybody, if they have any doubts in their mind about battery drain, it does in fact exist. As you can see, there is no power despite having battery power on. Now, what we could do in this situation is a bit twofold. We could, first of all, respawn into a place and get ground power connected, or we could do a variety of other things like call in the ground power truck. But since there's none available, we're going to have to wing it, I'm afraid. So what we're going to do is we're going to stick the generators on. If we can't get the battery to work with the APU running and powering it, I will respawn into a position where a ground power unit can be attached to the aircraft, hopefully. It's very hard to see. Obviously external power is there, but there's no indication that it's available. So let's get the APU running. Generator on. So hopefully that's going to provide some power to the plane. -17-degree temperature will be alright. It's not working just yet. Very hard to see. The standby power is not working either, so yeah, good example of power drain. There's not really much you can do in this situation other than move the aircraft. So we're here. I don't think we can move it to a ground power place, judging by like where we are on the airport. Obviously Ekaterinburg. The plane is dumped all the data for one cycle. The flight model to the cycle. I don't know what that's just done. I think I've hit the wrong key, but we're supposed to be zooming out so I can show you the airport. So obviously terminals are over there. They might have ground power. Maybe a position down there. There's a space next to a fuel truck. It's very hard to tell where the powered positions will be. There also seems to be two towers. There's one tower just down over there. I don't know if you can see it. And I saw another one over there somewhere. Nope. Just the one, but it's tiny. Very small tower. Kind of getting sidetracked, but I thought I'd give you a quick tour of the airport. There's nobody here. Despite being connected to the VATSIM, so it looks like we're going to have to be making do with no ATC again. So I just looked at the stream. It's a good chance to take a look at the health stream. Not very good at the moment, to be honest. It's saying having a lag drop again, despite having a 60 FPS limit on it to help buffering and things. Still saying there's an issue. So what I'm going to do, quick cheats. I'm going to zoom in and try and move the aircraft manually. Let's try that. So we're roughly on a space. Now if you're wondering what I'm doing, I didn't even realise at first, but you can in fact just do that. Hover over it, click it of course and hold it, and it will move the plane. That can be handy. Let's see if ground power is available here. It's external power. I don't really know how to get that. If you call ground service, you would think it would become available, because the batteries aren't working. So we'll give them maybe time to recharge. Hold on one sec. Just going to have a quick look online about how to request ground power. Explain 12. So we need the GPU, which is a ground power unit, for anyone in the chat, anyone in the stream watching. Of course, welcome in. We need a GPU to get powered up. Okay, so what I'm going to do, quick check on here. Let's go on to keyboard. Now we're going to find GPU. So there's GPU, so we can in fact do that. So let's try 0. Okay, now let's turn the ground power switch off. I'm learning, I think we're all learning at the moment, so 0. Have a quick look outside. I can't really see anything to indicate there's a ground power unit in the vicinity. I have requested ground service as well. Let's go back in and see if that's worked. No, still nothing. So 0 is the number for ground power unit on. And it didn't work. Bleed down GPU, perhaps that might be nah, we got GPU, we got the APU on at the moment, so I think we're alright. There's a strange noise outside. So we got fuel came. We need 1400. Let's do that while we're waiting. So we have got planes in the area, just not at the airport. 1400. Yeah, we got about 17 on board. Bit of a pain trying to get this GPU thing working. Let's try that. Absolutely nothing, it's completely dead. Very disappointing. The APU's running fine, it just means we can't really do much, so let's just make this heck of a lot easier and just respawn our aircraft. Sorry about that. We all learned something today, we all learned that X-Plane 12 has some more issues, of course. Realistic but slightly annoying. Okay, so batteries on. Avionics ICAS. That's probably my fault, to be honest, for not understanding what's going on. So let's get straight back into it. Might be rushing ahead again. It doesn't help that the controls are not very intuitive. See what I mean? They're just all over the place. So we switch all the switches on. The APU on. Double check the iOS. So we're full today. We've got 8 passengers going to Chelyabinsk. Tail flood on. Seatbelt signs on. Let's pressurize the hydraulics. So it's saying 18 degrees, I'll still stick the pitot and window heats on. Maximum cool. I'm down to 17, so you can hear the packs come on and come alive. So let's go ahead and get programmed. Fairly straightforward departure today from runway 08, and we should be arriving at runway 27. So USSS. Ekaterinburg to whatever it is, I think it's USCC. Yeah, USCC, so let's activate that. Luma, we want a departure for runway 08, so let's double check. Ashley 6 Juliet, so this one. Excellent. Everything's going very well. Activate that, perform initialization. Cruising altitude, not very high up, I didn't expect it to be, so 190. Fuel, confirmed. Take off. 15 degrees of flaps, but as I've shown you before, we can't change it. Okay, so there's the V-speeds. Estimated landing speed will probably be less than that, which is still quite low. That's still quite a low speed to land in the Citation, so yeah. Okay, what else do we need to do? So we need to check the ATC at this moment. We usually check the ATC. I've already got the QNH, it's 1024. It's quite high pressure today. And that also counts for the altitude of the airport and things. Okay, pressurization. Only need to go to probably the lowest. You can't really select 20,000, but 20,000 feet roughly would be our height. There's no ATC. We've got UNNT Center. I'll tune into it, but I don't really know where that is. I don't think it's in the vicinity. Looking at the map, we have got somebody landing here, which is good. Can't really see the center. According to Simreef, we are taking off runway 8 left, so whatever the runway he's just landed on is the runway of departure as well. Select the altitude. So altitude select 190. He's somewhere behind us. We might be able to see him in a second. Yeah, I think we're pretty much ready to go. Well, let's tune into that frequency I was saying about and see if we can hear any sign of life. So that's him, and there's no controller now, so we're absolutely fine to use Unicom. So that'll be 122.8. Now I've already got the ILS frequencies. For London it's 108.7, so I'm going to go ahead. Now sometimes I've had a problem in the past of X-Plane 12 where you manually enter the ILS frequencies and it won't actually work. So yeah, just be aware, change it on this one as well. Make sure you change it on this thing and it should work, hopefully. Like I say, sometimes when you do it on its own, manually, it doesn't tend to do it, especially when you change the radios, which is disappointing. So 108.7, and we're good to go pretty much. Let's get the beacons on, ready to go, start up. So auxiliary pumps off, fuel on, fuel boosts on. Ignitions, left generator. Let's unlock the throttles. Just monitoring that system as it warms up. Can monitor the fuel flow and the hydraulics. Everything's looking pretty good on the engine as well. Control position, we can check that in a second. Make sure we have free and correct controls. So we've got spoilers as expected. So once the ignition light goes off, you can switch the ignition to normal. Second engine revving up. As soon as that light goes out, switch gets flicked to normal. There we go. Okay. There's that plane that's just arrived. Air Europa. Very cool. For some reason our strobe lights have come on. So it's a straight out taxi today, but we're going to the left and taxi down. We just go internal cockpit, so we're sticking the cockpit for now, so we'll go down the left, we'll just keep going, take a left to G to Golf, and then we'll go down to Alpha as well. So flaps set. It did say 15 on the flight plan, but you can't really program the FMC. to get the takeoff speeds, but I'm going to put 15 degrees of flaps anyway. Static heat fail, great. We've got already the start of the flight, we've got a failure, which is not good. Look at the iOS, just double check. So de-ice static heat 1. That's not good at all, so that means we're going to encounter, no doubt, cold weather and minus temperatures. So no doubt we're going to encounter ice as well. That could be dangerous. It just means we may have to cruise at a lower altitude. Right, the window heat and stuff is on. Let's just wait and see. So Peter static heat, number 1, not number 2. Let's just go anyway. I mean, that's kind of an essential item, but I'm not really en route to restart the flight again. So forgive me for it. Today we're not 22 Foxtrot Tango, we're 55 Foxtrot Tango. So Charlie 55 Foxtrot Tango. So I'll give them a call. Very hard to see. As I say, there's no labels on taxiways here, which is a pain indeed. You just sort of have to guess what they are. I mean, no indication there of any of them. No indication what that is at all. Okay, so ground idle high, brakes off. That's normal. FMS selected. Straight round to Golf, and then to Alpha. Probably Alpha 1, I'm hoping. Quick test of the brakes. Turn to the right, turn to the left. We have ailerons, we have elevators, and of course rudder control. Let's hope that I don't think the P2 he's going to miraculously heal itself and fix itself. We could fix it on the iOS. Let's just fly and see if it freezes over. We got number 2 working. It's just number 1 that's not working at the moment. There's a swift taxi down. Keep an eye out for the ATC as well. Should we have any issues on takeoff, of course the standard procedure would have been make a turn back to the airport for the ILS landing. Runway 08 left. Assuming there's going to be no other issues. We did, in fact, last flight we did have a brake failure. And as I mentioned before, when I fly in Russia, I only ever have problems flying in Russia on the planes. I don't know if that's because X-Planes programmed it to be like that. But literally every other country is absolutely fine. It's just this one that causes the failures. So no idea what's going on there. There's no need for cabin lights at the moment. We're on takeoff. Cabin lights come off when we're on the in the air. Just a quick spoiler check. So you can see the trim position changes depending on flap setting, which is very cool. Obviously higher up, a steeper pitch because we've got more flaps, so we have to overcome that drag. And interesting fact about Chelyabinsk, it's about as interesting as it's going to get, but there was a meteor, some kind of comet meteor. Or comet, it would have been a meteor that hit there a few years ago, caused a gigantic crater, of course. Well, I'll have a look at that a little bit more when we're in the air. So let's just do a final check. So strobe lights on, landing lights, taxi lights off. So fuel boost and ignition's continuous. Check. Pressurization. Close those valves. Make sure the cabin is not pressurized on the ground. Make sure it's pressurized once you're in the air. Shouldn't actually do it itself. If you want to increase the rate, use that knob there on the right that says increase. Ekaterinburg traffic, Charlie 55 Foxtrot Tango, taking off 08 left. Okay, let's get going. No more hassle. No more messing around. Clear left and clear right. Clear right indeed. So, ready to take some to the runway. Slightly short of the end of it. Could taxi to the end if we wanted, but we're only light today. Heavy on didn't change the cargo because we've not got much on board. We've got 8 people though, so have to make do. So we take off, go around, and advance the thrust to take off position. Take off thrust set, airspeed is alive. So there's 100 knots, a little bit all over the place. Of course V1 and VR speeds. V2 has been passed, safe climb out speed, positive rate climb, gear up. Track the flaps to 5. Very steep climb out, as you can see there, to overcome that drag. Pitch down. Up. Once it's maintain a 200 knots, that's fine. Flaps can come up. And it wants us to go straight up to 19,000, so we're cleared to 90,250 knots. Of course, slats up as well. Okay, ignition to normal. If I can do it, fuel boost to normal. Landing lights stay on until about 10,000 feet. It depends really. I mean, we're in a pretty clear area, there's no other aircraft, we're probably safe to turn them off at this altitude. Transition altitude would probably be 10,000 feet as well. Autopilot on. Okay, so that's pretty much the after landing, after takeoff checklist. So standard pressure. In preparation for crossing that threshold. And landing altitude, landing QNH is 1025. You can see after landing, we get after takeoff, sorry, keep mixing it up. Everyone can watch TV, they can plug the phones in, they can use the lights. Bank angle issue, if the plane's struggling on the turn. Goodness gracious, bad turbulence, very bad. And straight through clouds. Yeah, so once we're through the clouds it should clear up. So Balandino, that's Chelyabinsk, as you can see. If we wanted to, we can tune the VOR. Tune that to nav 2. Just to save a bit of hassle, I'm going to tune the ILS runway 27. I've already done it, of course, manually, but just to double sure it worked. Going to be landing in pretty bad conditions in terms of visibility, so we may not see anything to find it. But as I say, very short flight. It says 55 minutes. I think we could do it in probably like 20 minutes, 20 to 30, the absolute most. It's kind of why I didn't want to rush at the beginning of the stream. And добро пожаловать на мой YouTube канал. To any Russians watching, everyone, very welcome to be here. .1,000 feet. I'll stick the engine ITIs on. Let's see how the pitot static fail actually copes. I've got a feeling it's going to do absolutely fine. Let's just turn it off anyway. No, but the right side's on, the left side isn't. It's pointless having it on, it's failed. Okay, reduce that thrust. Very, very fast. We've got a strong, almost like a tailwind of about, just about 10 knots, I'd say. Even the speed's increasing, we want it to be around 300. Can't see much. I can see a little bit of land. We're making our turn. It's a cool view. It's a nice sunset. So there's 300. Not long before we have to descend, actually, the top of descent. The top of descent is right there. Yeah, it's not very far at all. And then Aslan, of course, for the arrival. Asli 2 Delta arrival, I think we've got to program that in. So let's go ahead and do that now. Arrival, yes, so the standard arrival procedures, standard arrival star things there. Asli 2 Delta, which is correct. And we want the ILS for runway 27. So it's very hard to determine what it actually is unless there is no I hope that's right. We'll have to see when we get a bit closer. I'm going to step away from the cockpit for a minute as well. Just have a quick drink. captain has returned, everybody. No need to panic. Just stepped out of the plane for a moment. Okay, we're at the top of the descent already. It's so quick. Let's just double check. So we're going down to 7,000 and 5,500. So there's probably no need to worry about that pitot failure. There we go. Descending already. Let's just knock a bit of speed off. Let's go down to 5,000 feet. This is going to be one of the shortest flights ever that I've ever done on X-Plane. And just bear in mind, in the Citation 10, and one of the cool things I did do over the weekend was download a new livery for the aircraft. I downloaded something called Gazprom Avia. If anyone's familiar with Gazprom, they'll know it's related to the oil and gas industries. So I thought it'd be cool in the future if we do a Citation X flight in the Gazprom Avia livery aircraft, so you'll be able to see what that's like. It does look pretty cool though, it looks very nice and it just makes it a little bit more realistic. They don't actually own a Citation, but they own a, they own jets and big airlines like 737s. So we'll have to ship out some gas and oil workers somewhere nice and remote and give that a try, but for the time being, Chelyabinsk will do. Just go through our descent checklist. Let's do our landing check. So we check the V speeds. Let's take off V speeds with landing. So it's saying 115, 120 now. That's really quite slow for a Citation or any other aircraft. So you probably want to be about one. Honestly, even 140 is a lot better than that. That's way too like realistically in real life you would never do it at that speed. Unless you were super light and had literally 2 pilots and that's it. Right, let's get tuned into the correct frequency. The Unicom has not been tuned in correctly for some reason. It was, but let's keep that as it is. Make an enunciation test. Pass on that. 2,000 feet for final height. We may as well just go down, straight down to 2,000 feet. We're very close to the airport, so we're kind of in a... Like by this sort of time, you would want to be at least flaps down to 5, and you want to be slowed down to about 220, realistically. We're going to stick flaps to 5 just to bring speed down. It wants us at 240, but I'm hoping that'll decrease in a second. Let's change it to 210. There we go. There's Chelyabinsk. There's the airport in the distance. Oh, hang on. I think that's the airport there. So it's very, very close. This is sort of Chelyabinsk. There's a big water lake there in the shape of a circle. Like that's like where could be where the meteor hits. We can't quite see the beautiful sky in the background, but it's there, and the town, the city's there as well. And of course, off to our left. Right, we're really close, so let's slow. Now, for some reason, the FMC is saying 300 knots. That's completely unrealistic. And we can't change it. Anyway, we're slowing down. Well, we're literally about to turn onto final. The go round's going to take us back to final in a second if we need to go around. I think we're going to be able to do it though in time. Let's get the fuel boosts. Fuel boosts are on. Ignition is on as well. Very cool. Landing lights. Flaps are set 15. Landing lights on. Stronger winds here as well. I hope these aren't coming down to land at Chelyabinsk. If they are, someone's just spawned in. Give them a call. Chelyabinsk traffic, Charlie 55 Foxtrot Tango, turning final runway 27. Always concerned when I see planes in the area that look like they might land at the same airport. Especially when there's no ATC or things. Okay, there's the runway. Relatively quick. Select nav on. Go for the ILS approach. We're way above glide slope at the moment, so we're too high up, 3,300 feet still. Let's get the speed brakes. Glide slope moves towards the middle, that's what we want. Still high up. captured the glide slope successfully, so we can turn the spoilers off. Those planes are moving awfully close to that runway. Very close. Got a nice strong crosswind there, about 7 knots. It looks like they're like trying to come into land, but really badly. I have given a call out. I am established localizer, so I'm going to give them another call out just to make sure. Челябинsk traffic, Charlie 55 Foxtrot Tango, fully established ILS runway 27. Gear down. 4 flaps. So now you're going to see the power of the speed in a second. So we want to maintain about 140. We're already going too slow. Haven't had a traffic alert yet. They are just there to the right of us. There's 2 aircraft off to the right, one coming in behind as well.
1,000.
As I say, it does look like they're coming in for that runway at the same time, well, unless they're passing over. Let's quickly look out the window. So there's one up there. Like, if he's coming into land, I don't know what he's doing. He's obviously descending down to the airport. In a very bad way, I might add. Cool view of the city. Very nice. Right, so fully established ILS. We set the go around height. 4,000 feet. Keeping that speed nice and solid. Currently 130, taking into account the crosswind. We're going to turn the autopilot off. Autopilot's coming off, just bearing in mind we're going to get blown off to the left. Right, sorry.
400.
Whoa, there's that crosswind. He's given that call out a bit late, hasn't he? See that crosswind there? That could potentially be wind shear. Maintain that nose as well.
100.
Don't worry about the glide slope, everybody.
40.
We're worried about landing.
30. 20.
Okay, there we go. Come on. Let's touch down, so let's get the reversers out. Soft on the nose. Smooth touchdown in the end there. We had a long flare just to burn off some of that speed and take into account the crosswind as well. It was very good though. Very well handled, I have to say.
5346, expect you are approach runway to Thailand.
Runway 27 at the Chelyabinsk.
Correction, runway 27, 5346.
Okay, we're going to have to vacate the runway somehow. Excuse my nasally voice. So that aircraft there really is playing it dangerous. He's circling around the airport. I don't know what that plane behind was doing. I just don't know what they're doing in terms of the flying. Okay, let's vacate the runway for them anyway if they're going to land. Or if he's going to land. Take it to the left hand side, we'll do a quick check. Make sure everything's still functional. Chelyabinsk traffic, Charlie 55 Foxtrot Tango, clear runway 27. To landing checklist, so pitos are off, taxi lights are on, landing lights off, strobes off, seatbelt signs can stay on. Let's just check the pressurization, so it's depressurized on its own. Let's isolate the system. APU is already on. If you're wondering why I kept the APU on, it was a precautionary measure just because we didn't have one of the pitot heats working. We didn't go above the maximum altitude for the APU, as you can see. 31,000 feet is the maximum operation there. We were at 19,000 for the whole trip, so everything was alright. Okay, well, let's get taxi into the ramp. Let's get ground crew and maintenance onto the plane and get it fixed before the next one. Ignition normal. Fuel booster normal. Transponder can actually be turned to standby or on. Still shows us the other aircraft in the vicinity. It would be cool to see that landing though. Let's just... Whoa. Fantastic. Control on the X-Plane 12. Really fantastic. So yeah, we may be able to see his landing. I don't know what they're doing. They're flying around. Like I say, they're flying around very casually. Like, you wouldn't expect someone to fly like that on a flight, on a VATSIM flight. Because they came to the airport, they circle around, and they just keep circling around like they don't have a clue what they are doing. Other planes gone from the airport. It's quite a small one as well. We got, by the looks of it, one space and very wonky taxi lines. Very wonky. It must have been a little bit distracted when they painted them. So yeah, we got one spot available by the looks of it for our aircraft. I didn't check whether it was a suitable airport. The runway length is suitable, but the actual parking itself and the taxiways, I mean, the taxiway there is just bloody awful, isn't it?
Verify 346 on final runway 27.
Okay, so we got Maniac number 1 flying in again. Granted, he's given himself sufficient time this time to actually land, because last time he came in he was like coming way off from the right hand side there. Yeah, straight down the same path as me by the looks of it, maybe for the ILS. Can't see him in the distance, so I'm not bothering waiting. We're gonna get parked up. Looks like straight down, just off to the right there. Bit difficult to see, there's no markings. There's a marking there, we can see a marking. Let's turn into that. Very small plane space this. I'm suspecting obviously they handle small planes like this, small jets, but obviously commercial and general aviation planes, maybe Cessnas and things. Let's get parts up here. Well, that was a sort of uneventful flight. We had a bit of a failure there with the pizza heats. We had some crazy pilots at the end. Nothing that we can't handle, I'm afraid. Beacon's off. Seatbelt signs are off. You're free to move about and leave. Ape, you can stay on for the next crew. Window, he can stay on for the next crew, which will probably be maintenance at this point. So we'll leave it on for them in case they want to get warm on the plane. ICAS can come off. Batteries can come off. We'll just leave it in standby mode for them. So we might as well turn that off. Windshield heats. We'll leave the lights on. An APU. So yeah, that's been amazing. Let's go over and crack that door open. Amazing. We landed here in time for evening. Thank you for flying with me. And I'll see you on the next one when we carry on for Chelyabinsk to wherever it is on the Trans-Siberian Express route. Take care, everybody.